DVassist acknowledges the traditional custodians throughout Western Australia and their continuing connection to the land, waters and community. We pay our respects to all members of Aboriginal communities and their cultures, and to the elders both past and present. This webinar was recorded on Whadjuk Noongar land.
So let's move into the Q&A component now. And I think you've covered quite a lot, but this is just a list of frequently asked questions that we get from clients that call our service. So we've put together a bit of a list for you, and you've actually already answered the first one, that it's a free service and that there's actually no criteria. It's really, they can pick up the phone, they can book an appointment at a method that suits them. And what I'm really hearing from Merlene in particular is that it's links you in the local service or the statewide service. So there's kind of that no one slips through the cracks, which I think is really, really important to highlight.
And if it did, us as a peak, so I know every single financial counsellor there is, and I meet and talk to them regularly, and we have communities of practice. Now, for us, it's very important that clients don't fall through the gaps. So if they are, we would like to know why, or, like to know about it, because maybe there's, a service that's no longer funded, or, change in staff, there might be, all different factors that something may come to light, or there might be a different systemic issue out there that isn't on the radar, because financial hardship evolves and changes all the time. We've got people that are predatory services that go to regional areas targeting vulnerable groups. So, maybe a business has gone through there and done a lot of damage. So that's a new thing that we'd be working on. But it is a free service, and it is as long as the client needs the financial counsellor's help. So you can go in and out of financial hardship. So you might be going really good, and then you need less support, and then something else happens and it brings the person back to square one. You just keep going. So some clients have been with a financial counsellor for over 3 years because the financial counsellor is trying to keep their house for them.
That's really great that there's no cut-off time, and that it's as they need, and that the door's always open. And so another question is, can you help someone with debt? Can a financial counsellor help someone who has debt, and how?
That's their primary focus. So it's all about their debt, how they got their debt, how they got to that position, like what was the cause of their financial hardship. Because if you don't address that, that's always going to be there. So it's like what happened. And then there's like people that have never required any assistance before in their life, having to ask for help, which is really quite traumatic for the person. But yes, it's about their debt. So financial counsellors wear quite a few different hats. So there's the empathetic side, the support side for the client, but then there's that actual technical advocate, negotiator, working out arrangements with banks, super companies, any creditor. Sometimes people can have debt with over 15 different companies because of these buy now, pay after, buy now, pay later, after-pay facilities. And so a lot of their time is trying to negotiate debt for the client.
Which is an excellent service. I think the advocacy and having someone to really understand and how to just work with what's happening takes that pressure off, and like we were saying, empowers the person to take those steps forward. It can be quite overwhelming, the debt and just where to start and just not knowing.
I think some people commit suicide over having debt, and they think that there's no way out. And I think the most powerful thing that the financial counsellor can do is actually provide them options that they never thought would be possible. They think, I have to go bankrupt, that's the end of the world. Well, no, bad debt is not the end of the world. It can be negotiated and you can be supported. And I think that's what, the message financial counsellors try and get to clients, to bring that sense of calm to them straight away.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So, yeah, it sounds like you've already answered this question. Is that advocacy, you can speak on a client's behalf when working out their finances, if that's something that the client wants?
So with the ATO, the banks, financial counsellors have to complete the diploma in financial counselling. They're registered with their state peak. They have to do so many hours of professional supervision and professional development training each year. There's a minimum requirement to keep them licensed. So with the banks, they have to have a certain authority that they can act on the client. So the banks in that will share information and will let the financial counsellor advocate on their behalf.
Great. And the last question is around, can you help someone with property settlement or advice on property?
So a lot of the financial counsellors are linked in with like legal centres, and what they do is they might be able to provide some base information that, like where to go to get advice on property settlements, or, like sometimes there's some guides online, that people might want to read first before, and also like the legal services that can support them. So they can have that discussion, but to actually do the property settlement for them, no, that's not their role.
Yes, I think that's a really good point around that. They're linked in with those services. There's knowledge and how they can point them in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And so to finish up today, how can someone access a financial counsellor or more information about financial counselling, what they do, and particularly your peak body?
Okay, so there's the National Debt Helpline, and if you think of James Bond, Mission Impossible, the number's 1-800-007-007. And that's so say for example you call in WA, you'll actually get through to a group of financial counsellors in WA, and they can, like a first responder service, they'll be able to give information over the line, get a detail from the client, refer if necessary to face-to-face, or provide more information. It's not really ongoing case support on that telephone service. So for example, Synergy clients get referred often to National Debt Helpline, so to avoid disconnection, so that I can immediately assist them. Then you've got face-to-face services. Now, our website, financialcounsellors.org, you can find a financial counsellor on there in regards to putting in your suburb, or you can email us as a peak. We will link you in as well with financial counsellors, or if you type on your Google financial counsellors, most of the care services have a financial counsellor. So, but always reach out to us and we'll be able to point you in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Leanne, and of course Merlene, who joined us earlier. It's been really insightful actually to just give more of an inside look into what financial counsellors do and where to go to for more information. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. Thanks.